really loud.
So is your drum.
Well, you know what they say.
Take two.
Make sure it's recording this
what
time.
just happened?
I don't know. The screen just went out.
Oh my goodness.
So
Hey,
we
we are
just
still recording.
This is one of those instances where we lost the pod for real, and I can't bring it back.
Literally,
we recorded 2 minutes and 9 seconds of it.
of the 50 minutes that we spent on the pod.
Of gold.
It's really good.
Seriously, that was going to be the one that took us to the top.
Hey, welcome to Unsought Opinions with the boys and
A
special
girl.
guest. We got a girl today. So
Yes.
Introduce yourself.
My name is Sarah. I drew the little monsters on the cover art, and I know Dan.
And she knows Dan.
That is
So-
Common
so
theme in this
tight.
group.
Everyone knows Dan.
You're going to have to edit your name out again?
No, I only do my last name.
Golly. Call him George from now on.
no kidding.
I almost just said George and then your real last name.
I still think you can just
You can
beep it when it
contact him
happens.
at so thank you for joining us. Also here we got Dano, Bendub, and myself.
Steve the Bomb.
Steve the
Nobody
Bomb.
calls you that.
Everyone's called me that since high school.
Call him the Boosh. Or the Steve Man.
Yeah, so I don't even know how to get this podcast started
Again.
having already recorded a whole podcast.
Well,
and
I can
having
tell you how.
Let's hear it.
How was your week, Steve and Ben?
You know,
You guys never even got to yours.
We didn't even get to ours.
After an hour.
All right, Sarah, we're going to start with you. We got to do it more not you, fellas. We have to be more concise and stop just tangenting it.
Lock in.
Yeah, we're going to lock in. We're going to have a good podcast this time. Sarah, how's your week?
Good. I found a bunny. I got a candle.
This is so funny.
Like deja vu.
And
I feel
my
like this is
car,
like Groundhog Day.
What was the last thing?
and my car made funny noises on the way here.
It made funny noises on the way here. I love that you came to this podcast prepared for that segment.
I can't.
You found a bunny, which is incredible, and you kind of nursed it.
It was.
I rescued it, but it could have
Okay.
not needed to be rescued because
So you
of
kidnapped
a
a
woman.
bunny.
A woman kidnapped it, and then I had to pick up the aftermath.
The aftermath.
The way that you just sounded, you had to
The
fix
living
the situation.
intact aftermath. I had to fix it. Yes.
Okay.
Hold on, I got a question. You
We're doing it again.
only had you only had one of the children of the bunnies.
Yes. It was the only one in the road.
It was in a road.
It was in a road.
See, that's a game changer that we didn't know the first time. Because if
I
it's,
think she said
I
it, though.
definitely said that.
I know that you said it, but I didn't pick up on it. If it's in the road, you want to rescue the bunny.
A woman did, and then I was at a party, and then one of my friend's dads grabbed it from the woman, who then gave it to me. Then I tried to release it, and then it came back to me, and then I was like, well, it looks really young. Either I give
It's only 3 inches long.
Why is this grown man giving you a bunny? Are you known as like a animal person?
I owned bunnies before.
And she's a taxidermist.
I'm not a taxidermist. I'm a taxidermy
She
enjoyer.
taxidermies them while they live.
Wait, really? Do you collect it?
I have one. I literally have one.
What?
It's a piranha.
No way. That's tight.
Yeah, my dad. It was from my dad. He got it when he was in Brazil, and then it laid in our basement. And then I thought it was cool, so I took it.
It laid in your basement.
Yes,
Creepy.
I'd freak out. I would chase my sister with it all the time. It was so much fun.
That's really funny. I heard that piranhas are like super chill if they're by themselves.
I have a direct family member who would probably disagree.
My dad used to own them.
Do you live in Centerville?
No. Dude, okay, never mind. I don't know if I ever talked about this ever to anybody. But my
Piranha Paul?
my dad's cousin, so the piranha story is he and his brother, I think it was his brother, went swimming somewhere where there are piranhas, but they had like bug bites on their back from like all the bugs, and the piranhas mauled them, dude.
No way.
Yeah. Mauled them. And I think they had scars forever.
It's
And
It's like a smell thing.
Is it?
Yeah, it's like if you have an open wound, you're done.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh.
But if you don't have an open wound,
Then you're chilling.
you're chilling. They're like sharks where they smell the blood.
Have you seen River Monsters? Jeremy Wade
No,
test
I
this, like
refuse it.
rub himself with like nasty fish guts and then get in a pool with them.
Let me tell you why I
That's a
don't watch
terrible
River
idea.
Monsters, because I went into that hoping for like some sea dragons and actual monsters. They're just big fish.
Right. He could like solve every mystery that there was in
Yeah.
every village. Yeah.
But they're also like 300-pound catfish sometimes.
It was just disgusting.
Most of the time, yeah, it seemed like
Which
there
is
were catfish just
guys,
munching.
guys.
Oh,
we're doing it
again.
Okay.
But she started it with the piranhas.
That's okay.
You
We have stuff to talk
asked.
about.
Do you know? I
Okay,
have
hold
a
on,
friend
hold on,
who's
hold
a
on.
taxidermist.
But you also make your own taxidermy.
I made a bug once.
A bug?
Wait.
I taxidermied a bug in a diorama because I do dioramas, or I did. Like Civil War dioramas and models and
With
staring.
bugs,
And then I found a dead bug. So
General
then I,
Lee is a beetle.
No, it's a different thing. I got off topic because you guys were staring at the sky.
I
it's
got
about
hit by
to
a
fall on us.
raindrop.
But I
I just got
made a
another.
little mason jar diorama with the beetle in it, and that's the only piece of taxidermy I have done.
Does that? Did you actually do something to the beetle?
I
Stuck a pin through it and put it in a windowsill.
I don't know that you taxidermy beetles, right?
I can't remember what I did, but I did something with like hydrogen peroxide to dry it out.
Okay. So it's not like when I was a freshman, we just literally I went around, looked for bugs, and stuck it into a cork board and gave it to my teacher as a.
Well, oh, it is raining. I felt it.
I don't feel anything.
Then it's
all
probably
that
not
I
raining.
Italian hair.
rehydrated it, which
Oop,
is
got it.
back in my hair.
Should we bail before we get smashed like last week?
No, it's fine.
Again, I don't.
Um,
Dan's just setting it up to have another story time as we move into the.
oh, there's one of those synchronized lightning bugs. By himself.
Oh my gosh, Dan, how's your week?
It was good. I played some volleyball, played some badminton, went to a graduation party with rabbits at it, and lost 2 more chickens to a snake, I think.
Through no fault of mine.
Yes, but I wouldn't be trying to hatch them if it weren't for you. So last week I started with 8, trying to replace my 6,
Wait, where'd the?
and now I'm down to 4.
I gave you 9.
You preserved 9.
Now wait a minute. You said you lost 2, but you went from 8 to 4.
Yeah, 2 more today
I thought
from the
you.
snake.
So you've
From
lost
the
4
eggs.
this week, though.
Eggs.
We're talking about eggs.
Oh, we're talking about eggs.
Yeah, I had 8 underneath the silky to hatch.
So he never had 16 chickens or 15 chickens at
So
all.
you come over
No.
here to babysit
You're counting
eggs?
the
No, I
unhatched
didn't think so.
eggs as full like chickens.
This is
No.
crazy. I don't know what's
How many
happening.
eggs was I supposed to watch?
You were
You
supposed
were
to
over
bring
there
them
making
inside.
omelets with eggs that he's trying to grow.
Wait, so
Charlie!
the eggs that were gone, the chickens that died under your care, were egg chickens or
I think we
No.
just
walking
discussed
chickens?
that
They
I
were-
didn't lose
they-
any.
They were walking chickens. They got smoked by a fox.
Oh.
And now I put 8 fertilized eggs under the silky to hatch to replenish my flock. And I'm down to 4 of those eggs because I think a snake has eaten at least 2 of them. Maybe the chickens ate 2 of them. Who knows? But they're all marked with Sharpies, so I know which ones they are.
Do you know, Ben, what a silky is?
It's yeah, I don't want to talk about it though. But I do want to say that the way you told the story, Dan, is a serious case of counting your chickens before they hatch. Thank you. A silky, I'm assuming
Guys.
a silky's like one of those guys that they have on like those commercials where they like are on those bed sheets that are really slippery.
They slide off
Yes,
through the window.
It goes right through the window.
Yeah, exactly, that guy.
It's funny that we're
Yeah.
all thinking about that same commercial. Sarah, have you seen that commercial?
I don't.
Have you ever
believe
seen a
so.
commercial?
I have.
Oh, okay.
She calls them ads. They're usually about 5 seconds and you can skip them.
I
She's
had
significantly
cable.
younger than us, in case you guys can't tell.
I don't know what we've introduced or what was the last pod and what was this pod. This is very difficult for us. So again, we're bypassing Ben and I's house our week. but
Where
I
were
really
you
think
on
we-
9/11?
Dude, I just had that conversation today at
Non-existent.
work.
Was she non-existent or was she in heaven?
Ooh.
What?
Does life start at birth, or are we having always lived in heaven and then we're down here and we're back in heaven?
Is this a reference to
Well,
soul?
I was technically split in half. If we're thinking
Ew.
anatomically.
Ew.
Go on.
Gosh.
Wow.
We
Well, thanks for listening. We'll be back again next week. And this ends the segment. Where were you on 9/11?
Well, I was in Colorado and Florida.
Split in half. That's wild.
So yesterday, I got home and I had some time, so I watched a movie called We Were Soldiers.
What's
Do you guys
that one?
know that we had a war in Vietnam?
I had.
What?
Wait, we did?
Well,
The
our
U.S.
ancestors.
The U.S. was involved?
Yeah.
Who was in it? Mel Gibson?
Mm-hmm. And
I knew it, dude.
and what's his name?
Barry Pepper?
No.
Sam Elliott?
Yep, without a mustache.
I'm just
Dude,
gonna name.
that's
I'm just gonna
weird.
name
It was
all
weird.
the actors in that movie.
I haven't seen We Were Soldiers, but I did see.
What?
I haven't
Dude,
seen it.
it was my first time, and it is so sad.
I've seen
It's so
pictures
good, though.
of Sam Elliott in Roadhouse when he has long hair and no mustache. So weird.
Roadhouse, Jake Gyllenhaal. Roadhouse, Patrick Swayze. Which one?
Patrick Swayze. It was before Jake Gyllenhaal was born, I think.
Ben needs to know everything about movies and every actor.
He still
and actress.
does.
Well, he's been slipping
I'm
recently.
slipping out. Yeah, I do not pay attention the way
The
I
new
used
stuff, he's not as good.
to. Oh yeah, I don't know
Wow.
any of the stuff. I can't even tell you the last time I've been to a movie theater.
Dude, same.
Ugh, that era is over, and I'm actually kind of glad because honestly,
Is that era over in your life or
in my life.
society?
in my life?
When was the last time you went to the movie theater, Sarah?
A couple of weeks ago on Tuesdays because
It-
it's $6,
Oh,
Where?
which is the cheap day.
In
You're
Fredericksburg?
doing quotes, but $6 for a movie is very cheap.
I know.
Is that in
It's
Fredericksburg?
No, it's in Gainesville.
Gainesville
What?
has
$6
on
$6 Tuesday.
It's the Regal one, the really fancy one.
Yeah, yeah.
That's in like the promenade.
That's the only one in.
Do you have to
Gainesville.
be like a
Tuesday.
member to get that?
You have to just put your email in. You don't even have to pay for anything.
What did you see? Kung Fu Panda 4?
No.
What'd you see?
Cars 4.
I'm gonna guess some sort of Marvel thing because there's always
No.
one of those in the movies.
Wait. Did you
I'm
see
trying to
If?
remember. No.
The John Krasinski.
That one's not out yet. I
yeah,
thought.
Yeah,
dude,
it
it's
is.
out.
Wait,
I
John
wanna see-
Pepper
Krasinski
it
did
is.
what?
He made it.
What?
It's Ryan Reynolds, and it's a kid's movie, but it's like an imaginary friend. Is it Steve Carell's imaginary friend?
I don't know.
And then
Steve
Ryan.
Carell's in it.
Yeah. It's
and
a live
John-
action.
And John directed.
John directed it, and it's Steve Carell and Ryan Reynolds.
I thought
Ryan
it was-
Reynolds is a real person. Steve Carell is an imaginary creature.
I can't remember what I watched, but I know I watched it with my family. It was some movie, but the one I can remember was
It
Anyone
totally
But
was
You.
Panda.
It was not Panda.
She's-
Panda.
She's definitely watched
She's
Panda.
like, shoot.
Make something up.
I've seen every single one except the new one.
I haven't seen the third one.
I haven't seen the first one.
You're
The
not
first
missing
one's
much.
Although,
great, dude.
although that was my first ever Blu-ray. I saw the first 5 minutes of it, and then I had to leave.
Remember when like we judged how good movies were based on how good they looked on Blu-ray?
Do you remember
Like, that one looks so good
when
on
we
Blu-ray.
all gathered around Dan's house with the first 3D Blu-rays,
Oh,
and we were
yeah.
so excited for it?
And
Active
they were legit.
3D,
We're like,
dude.
guys, this is the future.
Dude, he had active 3D TV that was 600 hertz. So it was like the refresh rate was ridiculous. It was unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Sarah,
R.I.P.
tell us the story of how we got our cover art.
Dan. I worked with Dan.
I gotta bring it up
and-
again.
Okay. And
And by worked with me,
well, first you were my youth leader, and then I was working with you at the church, and then you left. But before you left, you asked me, "Hey, I have a podcast. Can you draw it?" And then I proceeded to listen to every episode and draw everything that was in the episode, plus some filler art,
Mostly Phil. No, I'm just kidding.
mostly filler art.
This is
It's kind of predictive filler though, because it's on the docket to be discussed.
truly. Have we discussed dragons yet?
Yeah, that was the first episode.
Yeah, dude. We talked about Ed Sheeran
What?
singing songs about dragons.
Oh, miss. Would you if I just like busted it?
Wait, what are the mosquitoes?
So there was a story.
Dan, you know not to ask.
There was
This is round 2.
They're actually flies, because I can't remember who said this, but there was a story about, I can't remember, someone tying strings to either like a wasp or
that
a
was
fly
bad.
or something and walking it like a pet.
Yeah,
And I just want to
that's me.
add to that. I did that as a child, but before I put them on the leash, did you put them in the freezer so they would go to sleep?
Whoa.
You put
That's
them
next
in the
level.
That's
freezer.
next level. That sounds like
was-
somebody who taxidermies bugs.
I was really hoping that you'd say that you listened to the podcast and went home and tried it, but
I've
you
already done
had
it.
already done it. So
I've
okay.
added a step.
So all you listening at home, if the red light's on, it's still recording. In theory.
Yeah, we need to see the counting number.
Right, exactly. I have PTSD. This is incredible. Looking at the art.
What's your favorite one?
My favorite one is the chimpanzee on the submarine,
I
which
love
was
that
not talked
episode.
about.
Is it predictive of us talking about the billionaire submarines?
Oh, yes.
Oh my
Yes,
gosh.
it was. The monkey is unrelated because I just thought a monkey in a
Not
suit
really.
would
Monkey
look
is
cool.
the billionaire from Gorillas.
The sub.
Planet
You
of the
did
Apes.
talk about the sub.
Is that what you saw at the movie theater? Was Planet of the Apes?
That's also just come out. It was weeks ago that I went.
Like weeks ago, like several months.
Like 4.
Months?
So month.
So last year sometime.
4 weeks ago. Because I have a gift card from Christmas that I have still yet to use up.
Yeah. $6 movie night. I mean, that's going to go a long time.
I think I need to go. Do you want to go to the $6 movie night?
That would be tonight, right?
Oh yeah, we got podcast tonight.
We got pod nights.
Thank you for pulling yourself away from a $6 movie to be here with us.
There's no good movies out right now.
I think
this
we've
is also her
already
dream.
gone over a few of them.
Except
so.
If and Kung Fu Panda.
And the monkey one.
The monkey one.
Curious George.
I haven't seen any
Isn't
of those.
Curious
You
George?
didn't-
in-
the first one?
I've never seen one.
Did you see the originals?
Yes.
Okay. So the first one had James Franco in it. It was good.
Really?
I didn't watch the other ones. Is your mic gone?
Maybe.
Oh, you're back. I didn't watch the other ones, but it's a cool premise.
Cool.
What movie?
Planet of the
Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
Apes.
Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
The old ones look funky.
And
The
that's
ones with
why
all the
we know
prosthetics?
that the Patterson Gimlin film is real.
Yeah.
So
'cause
the people
they couldn't do.
that weren't listening on the previous podcast, Sarah just pooped all over all of our conspiracy theories, saying they're fake and saying she doesn't believe any of them. So
I'm skeptical because, as I said before, we've recorded history for a while now. If we haven't taken a photo or had a little more facts to base it off of, then it's hard to believe.
That's
like-
and that's
Yeah.
the show. Thank
That-
you.
Their faces are just torn.
No, I again, we're replaying a conversation, so it's hard to do, but I 100% agree with that. If Bigfoot is supposed to be just an ape in the woods, and I think we made the point a couple weeks ago, of, like, we've videoed the craziest, like, snow leopards in the Himalayas and stuff. So absolutely we should be able to catch up to just some monkey in the forest of the Northwest.
Yeah.
But if there's like a supernatural weird element of it, and that gets into like the Book of Enoch and the Nephilim and stuff like that, possibly, or transdimensional weird stuff like that we can't really wrap our head around and stuff, there could be some weird supernatural stuff to it.
Only.
Only
The
that.
only way.
The only way to make it work.
Or like Area 51 or the fake moon landing. You know how hard it would be to keep a secret for that long if it was true?
Wait. Okay, now we're actually gonna have a fight.
Oh, I bet
Area
you believe
51. You're going after Area 51 right now.
I have evidence to back it up. My grandfather, World War II veteran, and after that, he worked at Area 51 as a radar technician.
So you know it's real.
I know it's real, and as he got older, it got really hard to lie. And he didn't slip up once about having aliens. So
The issue would be, like the false precept would be that everyone at Area 51 knows everything that's happening in Area 51. I'm sorry, you take this.
Are you familiar with Bob Lazar?
I probably not.
He worked at S4, which is adjacent to 51.
Ben gets excited about this.
And he described reverse engineering, also called back engineering, which you guys made fun of me for saying, but that's actually accurate.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh,
He described not knowing how the system that he was trying to reverse engineer even worked because there were so many. It was so compartmentalized. So like, that's how they keep secrets.
True. But
Okay, I like it.
I will say this, because as my grandfather got older and could like not lie, he would say that he worked on the airplanes that were like in the 80s.
Right.
So like all the, I don't even know what they are, but like the spy ones that look kind of UFO-y. So if you're Joe Schmo in the 50s and you see whatever the other eagle something, the black one, the big black one, like that's a triangle.
The stealth bomber?
Yes.
Okay.
He was working on those. If you see that flying, of course you're going to think it's an alien because you've never seen a triangle just fly across the sky.
Right. Do they come to complete stops?
In the air?
Are they about 4 football sizes?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think that several
Everything you're saying makes 100% sense,
99%
by the way.
of the UFO sightings, I think 100% are like 99% or 100%.
I was gonna say, wait.
Just-
Let's take it easy on the 100% here.
Are just misidentification, and the fact that most of it is seen over the desert, which is where they test all the new aircraft and everything. Absolutely makes sense. Absolutely is true. But there is also some weird stuff like
David Fravor's account.
True.
That's a weird one because that's neither stealth bomber shaped or even standard airplane shaped. That's a Tic Tac, right? I mean, it's weird. It's a weird shaped.
Who's David Fravor?
David Fravor. I think he was he Captain David Fravor? What are they when they're? I don't know. He was an Air Force pilot, and he chased a Tic Tac shaped UFO.
Was this recently or?
I think it was like 2004 or maybe 2007.
Is that the same
They just-
one from Arrival?
20 years ago.
Divulged it in like 2016. That's when they started
Oh,
like
yeah.
talking
I don't
about
think
in the
so.
government.
Yeah, so he and another pilot chased Tic Tac around for a while, and it went from like I forget what it was. Joe Rogan talks about it all the time, like 60,000 feet to like less than 50 feet in like a second, and
Which is a lot.
They tracked it. And
Which that also happened under the ocean.
Yeah, and I think they even saw some of these things go into the ocean. And when they got back, I believe the guys who run those the radars, like tracking all these things all over the place, they're like, yeah, we see them all the time. Like every couple of weeks they show up. We have no idea what they are.
I have conspiracy that I've just created in my mind.
I love
On
it.
top of your conspiracy, you know how we haven't explored the ocean? What if it's not aliens?
And we're back. Sorry about the technical difficulties. Our thing cut off for some reason, but we're back. So as you were saying, Sarah.
Yes, I have a conspiracy on top of your conspiracy.
Right.
Aliens don't exist. They're in the ocean.
Atlantis style.
So they're not aliens. They're just animals.
I like that. I like that one too. That's a good one.
They're
That
animals
fly over the
but
desert,
more
Maybe.
advanced than us.
Possibly.
like Bikini Bottom style.
It's SpongeBob. I have no evidence to back this up. This is just Tic Tac. What would go in the water?
Yeah.
Tic Tac would float, or not float. It would sink pretty dang well.
Especially if it's not propelled by any kind of like.
Do Tic Tacs sink? That is the question on the table.
They dissolve.
Yeah,
But-
but before then.
But it actually works. What she's saying works because the proposed theory behind how these things move is that they bend gravity instead of like using like combustion like we do to propel. They are like moving themselves through like space by
And
bending gravity.
they got access to the tectonic plates. They're closer to the center of the Earth.
I
So
love
they could
this.
be doing magnet stuff too.
I love it. I love it. So water would actually have no bearing on.
Absolutely.
So they would go from out of water to into water without any issue. and I love it.
But wouldn't they still have a ton of friction?
Yeah, maybe.
That's why it's Tic Tac shaped.
But it's still a lot more.
But if you're
Than
bending
air.
gravity
Stop saying
around
facts.
you, I think friction would no longer be an issue.
What about
'Cause
space?
It's not. You're going.
How does
through,
friction work in space?
Well, space. There's no friction because there's
Yeah.
nothing in space. Well, that's a misnomer. There is things. But
Okay.
It's the amount.
Pretend like a normal person believes there's space.
Okay. What if you put two magnets
I mean, like
underwater?
our solar system style.
Okay.
What if you put two magnets underwater? Is it slowed down? Like how fast they connect?
I don't know.
I don't think so. I think it's just magnets. So
I
maybe
think it
that's
has to be.
So magnets is a different force.
It probably
than
does, Dan. but-
Magnets in space would work much better than magnets on Earth. So if you think, Dan, to your original point, think about like a space movie, like Interstellar or whatever, where if you're in the space capsule and you throw a rock or something, it just floats flawlessly like it was on ice or something. There's no friction. There's no nothing because we have friction from the air that's moving through or from the table that you're rubbing your hand on or whatever. Friction is created by you going through particles. If you're in space, there's no particles to go through, so nothing's going to have friction on you.
Yeah, so that's why I was saying the ocean would be a lot of friction compared to our atmosphere.
Yes, comparatively. But if you're
Comparative.
bending gravity and stuff, like this is all theoretical.
and probably not even close to being accurate because none of us know what we're talking about.
Exactly, 100%. But if you're bending gravity around you, you're basically bending existence around you. So you wouldn't be falling prey to things like friction or rate of speed or anything.
All right, question. What is bending gravity?
We don't know.
We don't even know
What
how
is
the technology
bending
works.
time?
We don't like black hole style.
Yeah, wormholes, black holes,
I don't know.
curving.
Let's talk
We
about
need Neil deGrasse Tyson for this.
Dude, yeah, let's talk
Where's he
about
at?
time travel.
Although he
and
hates the idea
wormholes.
of aliens.
Dude,
So you know.
so many people.
So he'd be on our Atlantis
He-
conspiracy
yeah,
side.
Right.
Can I tell you something? I heard today this theory of there's this guy on TikTok, so you've probably seen him.
Probably.
He was on this fishing boat and he heard this like crazy, like it was kind of like a whale call, but it wasn't a whale. Like it's in the middle of the night and all of a sudden these like it looks like dolphins swimming up alongside his boat, but he's going like super fast, like probably 30 miles an hour, and these things are swimming alongside him. And he said that whatever this call was or whatever was like a siren song where he's like wanting to get into the water and listen to the song more and more. And so he was saying they were mermaids, which is like, I already see your eyes rolling and stuff. That's fine. I don't know that I believe him, but his point was these are what's in the ocean spaceships and stuff, or these mermaid things. And those are the aliens, bro. And so the guy was like, I don't know. He didn't seem like the most reliable guy. If you're a listener,
Probably.
Were they black or white?
I don't know. I couldn't.
The mermaids.
They
No,
were probably tuna, because tuna can travel really, really fast.
that sounds
They-
great.
Half human,
So
half
fast.
tuna fish.
I've just heard debates on whether or not the mermaids are black and white. This is why I was asking.
Oh no! The mermaids are no.
Mermaids are white.
They're probably
or-
see-through.
They're like fluorescent with scales.
With light bulbs on the front of their
Yeah.
heads.
Okay. Interesting.
Do you believe in mermaids, Dan?
No.
Dude, we watched a documentary together.
Did we?
There was like
Is
the
that
king
the one on Netflix?
and his daughter like made a deal with the witch.
the one with the flounder.
Yeah. I don't remember his name, but he played an integral role in the whole plot.
Yeah, I remember that documentary.
Yeah, it was a crab. It was very musical.
Okay, yeah, I do believe.
Oh, thank you. All right.
So they're white then.
In that instance,
Oh, okay.
except the sea witch, who was blue, purplish.
Definitely
And she
purple.
wore
Was it purple?
That was like
some
her
kind
whole
of
spiel.
overalls.
It was a dress made of octopus. She had legs. Did
I
you
think
know
she
this?
was an octopus.
No, she had legs. She just wore octopus carcass like a dress.
Let's just admit she was, or at least all agree that she was at least semi squidded up.
She was. I thought you were gonna say we can all agree that she was pretty attractive.
I thought that too.
Yikes.
So I've been getting these emails for the last week. It's like junk emails, you know. So you're like going through your phone and you're just deleting all your junk emails.
Talking about T. Rodney?
No,
Oh.
No.
That is not junk.
I was gonna say. I was
We'll-
just about to yell at
We'll
you.
get to Rod. But they were like, it said something about headlines. And so one was like something like boyfriend hacks up pregnant girlfriend and gets rid of the body parts or something like crazy like that. And so I went and like read the story. I was like, what is happening here? Is this a topic to talk about on the pod? And then every day I've been getting
Money's been draining from his account.
Right,
ever since.
exactly. I've been getting emails from this thing, and they're all like these horrible news stories that are happening all over the country. Like I could pull some up right now, and it's bizarre. Like a man killed his wife on her 80th birthday or something like that. Like it's just like weird. I don't know how I got that email or.
Are you clicking on the websites?
Oh, I'm clicking everything I
Well,
can. No, I'm
that's
just
wrong.
kidding. No, I don't. It's bizarre. So my whole world is just getting darker and darker as the days go.
How did you just jump to this topic?
Well, I've been wanting to get to a lot of topics, and we keep pinballing to mermaids.
So you want to get to dark news stories?
I just wanted to share that with you guys.
It's actually crazy that that's happening.
I don't know that they're true or not.
I never check my email.
All right, we'll see you guys next week.
So I mean, I might be getting them too. Is what I'm saying.
I don't
no,
think
there was a. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Okay, when I first moved here,
That's how you do that, Steve.
I remember. I think I said it before, but you've seen the movie.
we
It's a Brie
soldiers?
Larson movie where the kids, or her and her baby, are like trapped in this little room. Oh, it's called Room.
The Room. Yeah.
No, just Room.
Is it just Room?
It's just Room. Anyways, there was a case like that down the road of someone that was kidnapped and trapped in this tiny little. It was like a shed, actually. In this case, this girl was trapped there for a couple of years, and the whole time, like the family thought she was just gone forever, for good. And it was the whole time they lived like down that side on the road. So it was within a couple miles for years that her daughter was, but she was just in a cage.
And that happened right down the street from here.
I believe so.
Dude, that is
Oh, my
crazy.
goodness,
Is that why
dude.
the guy sold you this house? Was he? Is that your shed back there?
I don't have that shed anymore.
Did she survive?
Yeah. Wow. That's how the story got out.
How do you?
How do you go back to normal after that?
Exactly. That's what I was gonna say. Like
I
you're
don't
on
think
a
I've ever gotten a spam email.
you're on a first
Are you
date.
kidding me?
I've had my email since I was like 12,
So last year.
and I just get ads.
Those are spam.
Oh yeah, but not murder ads.
Oh yeah, I don't get murder ads.
Yeah,
I do get really
This is
cool
not
car
ads.
crashes
It's news stories.
on my Instagram.
So they're not. I'm not trying to buy someone that's hacked up in 100 pieces.
Bulk discount.
Can you tell if someone's read your email?
Brutal attack on
If you put a
homeless
read
man
receipt on
live
it.
streamed by teens.
Dude, there was a girl.
I don't think you can.
There was a
I've never
girl
been able to tell.
in my roommate's class at JMU who was a reporter. You probably remember this. She was doing a news story, and then someone came up and shot her on live television.
Oh my goodness! What?
That's horrible.
Yeah.
I don't know this. What happened?
That's pretty much what happened.
Did she make it?
No.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
Wow.
So thanks, Steve.
I gave you guys a list of things that I wanted to talk about.
One of them
Emails
was
emails.
Harry and the Hendersons. No.
Batbox.
Bat box.
Yeah. So we got a lot of mosquitoes going on in my house right now.
Yeah.
And my wife is like, build me a bat box. So you build this box and put it on like a 20-foot pole, and it attracts bats, and they live in this box. And their guano is like great manure, but then they also like eat all the mosquitoes around your house and stuff.
I have one in my garage.
A bat box?
Yeah.
Are you using it?
I've been meaning to for like 5 years.
Did you build it or did you buy it?
It was at my parents' house.
How do you get the bats? They just find it?
They just find it, yeah, I think.
It's like a thin mailbox.
So it's like the same idea with like a bee box.
I was gonna say it's like a beehive. Like
Which
you need
also
it to
does
be
not
like
work,
really
by the way.
skinny. Wait, what?
I've had a bee box hanging in a tree in my yard for a while. I
have
have
to-
no bees.
So one of my friends with his bee box, he found a hive in his tree and got a box, and he set it underneath the beehive for or the bee cluster. Took them 2 weeks for them to finally go in there, but now he's got his own beehive.
Yeah, you have to put them.
Yeah, I was
in
gonna
there.
say.
You need a queen.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I feel like he just used honey or something, and they eventually went in
it
there.
does happen. Like swarm traps, that's how that works. Like you just hope that a queen or that the searcher bees find it when their hive splits, and then they.
My queen, we found the best place.
That's why I call him Stevie B.
Yeah, I do speak bee. I was at my parents' house the other day, and my dad was like, "See that book? That's what I'm getting into." And I look over, and I was like, "Beekeeping." He's like, "A good hive will produce 100 pounds of honey a year." I was like,
That's a pretty good hive.
"That's crazy."
That is crazy.
I bought my dad a beekeeping book too for Christmas, and he still hasn't done it yet.
Parents.
My
am I
brother.
right?
My brother's crazy good at bees. He knows everything.
Does he have bees?
Yeah, oh yeah, he's got a bunch of hives.
I've never seen them.
Yeah. No, he doesn't have it. No, he's got a ton. And people who have, I think, been doing it longer than him call him for advice now because he's like that good.
He's
at
the
it.
local beekeeper.
He's the guy. Yeah.
Is this your oldest brother?
Mm-hmm.
Does he sell the honey and stuff, or what does he do with it?
One year he got a ton of honey, but he didn't take any last year because I guess his hives weren't healthy enough and he didn't want to strain them. He wanted them to have the best chance to make it through the winter last year.
Yeah.
I think stuff's going well enough now that he's on track to get a bunch of honey this year.
So if you take their honey, I know it's their food,
Yeah.
but will they start producing more because they know they're going to need to?
I don't know. I don't know if they just go max
Or are they
max
dieting
production
all winter?
Yeah.
I just get really depressed. You're like, I'm not gonna build that again. Like us when the podcast deletes.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna read.
I see. This is why we need him to come on and talk to us about bees because he would know the answer to that.
All right, bring him on.
I would love to. I've been begging him and he won't come.
Guess
He
next
even
week.
listened.
He listens to every episode.
Your oldest brother?
Yeah. My other brother has no idea that we do these.
Oh.
You
Wait.
have the ages confused.
Josh is the oldest?
Correct.
Oh. I thought it was the other way around.
Friend
You
of the pod.
thought CJ kept bees?
Well, that's why I was surprised.
Dude, what? Sorry, Sarah. You're here. We know that.
Your brother seems cool.
Yeah, they're cool. But so what is your living situation like? You live at home?
No, I live by myself in a tiny house.
And you're how old?
I'm 19.
That is crazy.
How tiny is your house?
It is 19 by 8 feet.
Do your parents have you locked in the shed in the
that's
backyard?
No.
not as small as I thought it would be.
And I've got two
19 feet?
upper lofts, so I have square footage there. I left on my own free will.
That is so cool.
After a fight.
Right.
Nope.
And
I wanted to leave.
is this a
After
container
the fight,
home?
Yeah. It was brutal.
Are you living in a shipping container?
No, it's like, I don't even know. I don't know the history of it, but I know
Does it
the
say
guy
pods
who
on
I
the
rent
side?
it from. The guy who I rent it from has 2 of them, and my other neighbor is a tiny house, and I know that he built mine, I'm pretty sure, and then
Whoa.
he bought the other one. So mine's one of a kind.
Does
That's
it have
pretty sweet.
electric and power and everything?
It has power. The only thing is I have a composting toilet. That's the only thing different, which is,
It's interesting.
it's interesting.
It's one of those things.
What do you do with the compost?
I throw it away.
In the
You're gonna
pond?
be like
We have a waste bucket
an
that the county takes.
old lady, and you're like telling your great grandkids, like, when I was your age, I had to take my poop out in a bag, and they're like, dude, this girl was crazy.
Although,
That'd be their picture of our whole generation.
Right? Exactly.
did I tell you this on Sunday? My toilet number ones go out into a tiny little septic tank for my tiny house. It got disconnected. And I didn't know that for about a week. And I was like, I usually clean it every 3 days because I don't like it lingering. And I was like, why does it smell so bad? Because sometimes it smells. I kept cleaning it and cleaning it. I was bleaching this thing. I was disinfecting it. I was putting air fresheners in there. I look one day when I was taking my stuff out, it had disconnected. And all of my number ones and all the water, because I use water to flush it, was just laying behind the toilet, and
How
I had
did you
to
not see
clean
that?
it
In the
because
house?
it's hidden. Like basically my toilet's in like a corner where like the end of the trailer park, sorry, is like the trailer. So it's like at a point and it's fit in snugly, and it got disconnected.
That's pretty nasty.
It was not fun. I literally took my toilet out of my house and I just threw it and I hosed it down and bleached it, and it probably made mustard gas, but it was
I used to
clean.
have to clean the waterless urinals, and those are nasty. Calcium buildup. Oh.
Can we change subjects?
What's wrong with this? This is
You
real
don't want
life.
to talk about waste management?
Oh.
I'm so fascinated by the tiny house thing. I wonder if is there money to be made in tiny houses?
Probably.
Like
renting
building them or renting them?
Well, building them to rent them.
Yeah.
Then yes.
You'd have to have septic and stuff. I guess not in your case, but a well, right? You're on a well?
I am on a well, and then I have like it's a special septic where it's only gray water.
Right. I'm wondering if you couldn't. Well, yeah. Anyway, that's a stupid conversation.
I have looked up.
Yeah, we could talk
like,
about it
yeah.
offline.
Yeah.
I'm always like trying to those cabins that you get from Home Depot for like 10 grand or whatever. And
Yeah.
it's just a primitive cabin, but throw that on my lower field and just have someone like
somebody living in it.
dude, it's like
That's-
glamping.
That's basically my arrangement. This guy who I rent from owns a bunch of properties, and he's got an Airbnb and our 2 tiny houses across a pond, and he just rents them all out.
That's so cool.
That's so cool.
Huh.
Yeah, I looked up shipping container homes because those are just cool
They're
looking
so
in general.
cool. Yeah.
But yeah, just making like a little community of them.
Yeah.
It'd be so fun.
Dude, and like interlock them, and you're like,
Ready Player One again.
make it. Well, I was not Ready Player One, but Silo, and you're making your own silo and stuff.
I don't know that. I don't know
Me
your
neither.
references.
You haven't seen Silo?
No.
It was on Apple TV.
Don't have that.
I had it for a little while.
Does he seem like the kind of guy who's gonna have Apple TV?
Yeah.
Doesn't even
right.
have an Apple phone.
That's true. Don't you have a Mac?
Do I want a TV that can be hacked at any time?
Apple stuff is notoriously insecure. I will pay for your phone if you go to Apple. Does your wife have iPhone?
No.
Dan, back
Oh
down.
my
He's only
goodness.
saying that because they'll give you a free iPhone.
Yeah, you have to sign up
True.
for T-Mobile.
You won't get signal anywhere, but
It's actually T-Mobile's making a huge comeback. They just bought.
I'm switching
Who
to
did they
them.
just buy?
Sprint?
They bought. Yeah, they did buy Sprint. I thought they were buying somebody else again.
Oh,
too.
I don't know, but I hate T-Mobile so much. I had Sprint. Everything was fine. T-Mobile bought them, and I got no signal anywhere I went. I was so mad.
I was living.
Whoa. Don't get me started. I went
I'm
in.
actually switching to T-Mobile though. Are you saying not to?
Well, do you like having phone calls?
The problem is, and Joy and I have talked about this a bunch.
Friend of the pod.
Friend of the pod, been on the pod.
Hey, we didn't badmouth her because I got deleted.
No, I'm good mouthing her right now because she knows what's going on down here in Culpeper, and she knows what's going on in Warrenton. No service on AT&T at all, and we're paying way too much for our service. I think we
I
should
get
all
service.
Dude,
boycott it. Huh?
get
I have
Verizon.
AT&T.
Although Warrenton is the town that we used to notorious. I mean, really bad signal there for being in the center
It
of
is
the
really
town.
bad.
Are you Verizon?
AT&T. Hannah has Verizon.
How do you guys not have what?
Somebody's got a work phone. Somebody.
I have a work phone too. It's an Apple.
You actually do have iPhone?
Yeah.
Can we text you on that phone?
No.
I think we could. We just have to end every text with "I have a money issue."
Yeah.
Or sorry. Sorry. So why does your phone
have to
use?
edit
I have no idea what service that
Why does your work use Apple? Do they want to get hacked with all of our
I think so.
infos?
Yeah.
How long have you been in the tiny house?
Since December.
Okay, so it's new. It's still new.
Yeah. I actually power washed it the other weekend.
So you,
I loved it, and now it's all clean.
the more that you're saying, the more it sounds like you live in a camper.
Yeah, it's on
Do you
a
have
trailer.
a picture of it?
Tiny houses are usually on trailers, I think.
Yeah, they usually
Are they?
Usually?
I didn't know
I
that.
think so. I think you
I
can
would've
move
thought-
them around.
Like my cabin idea, they just drop it.
I mean, I'm not
easier
saying
to
that they
build
always
on.
have to
There's
have their
probably a
wheels on it.
foundation.
Like they could put them on blocks or something.
This is when I first got it.
We'll put
Who's
the
that
link
stud
in
in the picture?
Matthew.
Is that your fiance?
Brother?
No.
Someday.
When you say
Still
his name,
waiting.
does everyone
Still
have to say
waiting.
it that way?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there a picture where we can see the whole thing?
No.
You only have one picture of your house.
Let me see if I have another one. This was saved. I decorated it. So now it's all nice, but I don't take photos. I have so many photos of you in
Why?
Hungary,
Weird.
but none of my house.
The kids
We'll
in our
post a
youth
link.
group always find the worst pictures of me. And then they make their group chat and just think it's the funniest thing.
It is the funniest thing
funny.
ever.
I
They're
have
so bad.
so many bad pictures of Dan as well.
Here's the inside from the ladder perspective. So I have a ladder that goes back and forth to each loft. So that's my kitchen, dining room, bedroom, kitchen, and bathroom and shower.
What do you do when you hang out there? There's like
I don't
no
hang out
space.
there. That is not the house to hang out at. It's more just to sleep and to eat.
So is this like one of those, like, I guess 18-foot trailers that you can put like a race car in or whatever, and he just finished it out?
Yep. I think he took the frame of one of those and then just built off of the frame.
I see. That
I haven't
explains
asked
those.
the history. I just know it exists.
I
That's so
remember
cool.
we had one of those trailers on the back of my car one time when we were moving stuff. Pull out of the parking lot, and the whole thing just falls off the back of my car, and it's just dragging by the chain.
Dude, no, we were going downhill, and he stops at the stoplight. We feel boom, like something tailgated or popped our tailgate, and yeah, it was 100% my fault that the ball hitch didn't lock, and so it popped off when we went over the curb, and
Just happened to be nice and
Slid
busy that night in
right.
the intersection. Like crap.
oh, it was so embarrassing.
Good thing we had the chains though.
It was
Yeah.
right at a very popular
Whose
ice
trailer
cream
was it?
store. We don't have to get into whose trailer it was.
Was it a friend of
Jared's.
yours? Oh,
All right.
man, we need. Yeah, I love that guy.
We should figure out how to like.
Go down there and do some fishing and talk to him.
I was gonna say Zoom.
Yeah, I just did that,
Meetings.
but I didn't talk to him while I was down there. He
What?
called me out. I had very, very limited time.
That is not an excuse.
Talked to him last night, and he called me out.
Yeah, I would have called you out too had I known. I would have called you out last week had I known.
Well, now's your chance.
Way to go, man.
So how long have you known Dan?
Pretty long time.
Probably your whole life, I'd say.
Yeah.
I want to know some dirt.
There's no dirt on this
There's
guy.
no dirt.
I am
No
sneaky
embarrassing
clean.
stories that you haven't told.
He's the worst.
I mean,
They
yeah.
can't even think
There's a lot of.
No. Yeah. There's a lot. Knowing Dan is one of the funniest things ever.
He's calmed down a lot in the last since you came back from California, or probably since you left for California, or when you got married.
Oh
But-
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Steve would know more about it than me because he lived with him.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like at your wedding when I was put on the spot to tell a story about you, and it's like you go through all these stories, and you're like, "What's a good one that I could share with Olive's family?"
What did you share?
The stupid,
I don't remember anybody's anything that anybody said at my wedding.
Do you remember anything that you said at Steven's wedding?
Just a word that
That was one
everyone
of the funniest.
always harps on me for.
Dude, that was one of
It
the
wasn't
most,
even your fault. It was Jason's fault, and then you just started
He set me
parroting
up.
it.
Dude, I love that moment
Dan's
so much.
best man speech at my wedding, he had to apologize to my grandma for.
Is that just now?
Yep.
What?
No.
No.
It's a while ago.
What was my speech?
I don't want to get into it. It's not.
It's a very passionate speech.
I just remember Steven yelling, dude, my grandma's here.
And then Dan responds with, "Sorry, Grandma."
I was just wishing him luck.
I
Yeah,
I
you
had
were.
to really reassess my friends after the wedding.
That was great. That was fun.
It's great. It was fun.
Do you remember when?
I know it seems like this pod has just started when you're listening to it. We're 40 minutes into it, 45 minutes
We're
into
literally
it.
like 2.5 hours.
We're like 2.5 hours into it. We've been doing this for a long time. This is how does
Okay,
Rogan do this?
I have
3 times
another.
a week,
I have another
3 hour
Sarah
long?
talent.
Okay.
Okay.
One of the first times that I remember a long time ago when she came to a youth group, she brought some puppets that she made.
I did.
So she's a puppeteer.
X.
An
I haven't
ex-puppeteer.
done it in years, but during like COVID, I got nothing else to do. I got really into like Jim Henson and like all those creature puppets.
Mm-hmm.
So then I built some. You didn't see those because I thought they'd be a little too creepy for youth group. So I brought like the Muppet ones. And I don't think I told you this. I was offered a mentorship with the Atlanta Center of Puppetry Arts. I like talked to them on Zoom and everything. Yes, and I talked to them and I got like the email and everything and I just never did it. I had that great opportunity and I was like, nah, I'm good.
What do
You could've
they
been the
do
next
out?
Douglas
like,
Bubble
what, they just
Trousers.
put on plays all the time?
Plays or like films and stuff, and also just the museum in general. They have a lot of artsy fartsy stuff.
Do
That's
they
probably
know
why I didn't do
Stromboli?
Huh?
Stromboli.
Which one's that?
He's the evil puppeteer from Pinocchio.
Oh, they probably
Come on,
do.
guys.
That was a deep cut. I wasn't there with you.
My one of my first bosses, his grandfather, I think, was a puppeteer, like a legit one. And there was, like in movies, which is weird.
Your grandfather was?
No, my boss's grandfather.
That's such a cool job.
Yeah, so the puppets were at his house in a display case with the video or like screenshots of them like making the movies and
That's
stuff.
so scary. Puppets freak me out so much. I
I would make ones that like. There was one I was working on for the longest time. It was like a wolf creature, whatever. Its eyes blinked.
Nope.
And I made it. It had its mouth moving, and I made it, and I rigged it up so whenever the mouth would move, the gum would go up, so it looked like it was snarling. It was so cool.
That's
You need to bring that thing to church.
That's called.
I don't think I'd be welcomed back if I brought that.
Wow.
Where'd you go to school?
Maybe don't say that.
Everywhere?
Okay. Were you homeschooled?
No.
Oh, okay. That's
I
what
went to public school, then private school, then public school, and then I graduated in private school.
Oh, cool. Okay. Well, that blew a theory of mine.
I am not a homeschooler.
That's cool.
They're terrible creatures, homeschoolers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You could have been the next Kevin Clash.
Who's that?
You're kidding.
Damn.
You didn't know Stromboli. Come on.
I knew Stromboli. The food?
Yeah.
Dude.
I'm the Stromboli guy. You're thinking of somebody else. You got somebody else on that one. I love Stromboli. I've been eating Stromboli since I was.
I can't
Dumb.
tell if you're being for real right now.
I'm being very for real.
He's not.
They call me the
This is like
Stromboli guy.
The one, like, I always know he's joking,
It's
but I was
so-
like, maybe he wasn't even paying attention because he wasn't even holding his mic when we were talking about that.
It's so frustrating. Because he plays it to the very end. I'm just,
Hey, I don't know if I talked about this on the pod, but when I was younger, I was at Chuck E. Cheese, and I was up
time out.
backstage.
Do you know Chuck E. Cheese?
Yes.
It's still around.
Well, I know.
Actually,
But
they
now
got
it's-
rid of the tokens, though.
When was the last
That-
time you were there?
2014?
Wow.
I was
but-
there like 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah, because you got kids.
Mm-hmm.
I was distraught when I found out they got rid of the tokens.
What are they doing?
Yeah.
Bitcoin now?
They're doing the
They're
card
like
thing.
cards, like casinos do.
Ah.
which is
It
also
ruins
lame.
it.
They took out all the animatronics and just do like a TV.
That is so lame.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Ah.
as I was saying, I was up on stage with those animatronics, but the curtain was closed, so it was all just pitch black.
How old are you?
I don't know, kid. And I'm back there because it's pretty sweet. I'm like looking at all these things, and then all of a sudden, all their eyes just turn on in the dark, and they start moving around, but there's no music or anything. I'm like, oh my gosh! And then their whole dance starts, and then
It's
the curtains open, and I'm like sitting
happening.
there. But it was creepy.
This sounds like a
What?
very familiar story.
But why were you back
So
there?
I told it.
No. Do you not know what?
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yes. Okay. Phew.
Yes.
Are you
want,
I haven't seen it though.
I want
or
one
I
of
don't
those
even know-
animatronics so
I don't know what
badly.
you're talking about.
Okay. There's a video game.
Oh,
It's
that's probably why I don't know what you're
And
talking
film. That's what I watched at the movie theaters. Five Nights at Freddy's.
about. No
That was so
way.
long ago.
Yes. Yes. That was not long ago.
Yeah, it was.
It was way more than 5 weeks ago.
Yeah,
Oh.
that was at least in like
8 weeks ago.
That was probably in October-ish.
Yeah. Oh. I said
It's June.
I said 4 weeks ago.
It's like 7 months ago or 8 months ago.
Keep going.
I want one of those animatronics.
No,
They're
that's
That actually would be pretty sweet.
they're selling them. People are finding them in the garbage because they're supposed to destroy them,
Maybe not.
supposedly. But people are finding them in Chuck E. Cheese's garbage, selling them on eBay, and then people on YouTube restore them. And it's so cool because they're all hydraulic based. They're not based on like wires. I mean, they are wires, but like not like circuit board nerdy
Mhm.
stuff.
Steve and I built a robot once.
It was the best.
We moved into a house that was foreclosed on,
Yes.
and it
Any-
was just filled with garbage downstairs. And we were just one day just started building.
So yeah, we started renting this house for super cheap because the guy was like, it was his mom's house and he just stopped paying the bank for it. So he was like, it's gonna get taken over by the bank, but until then, you guys can live there for like dirt cheap. So we're living there dirt cheap, and it had like a brick basement wall, and so we had like a full band studio down there, and it was the coolest bachelor pad you could have. We screwed a friend's desk into the ceiling and everything.
Left it there when we left because we couldn't get it down.
We stripped the bolts. You were part of that too.
That sounded so crazy.
And so we get the foreclosure
We did
notice
that
from
sounds so insane.
from the bank, and they were like, "You got to be out within the month." And so Dan and I just sitting at home by ourselves, super depressed. We just looked at each other like, "You want to build a robot out of all that stuff in the basement?"
Was
So-
there any striking feature about
Actually-
that robot that we should
Well,
discuss?
we made a light bulb. He had a light switch, and you turn it on, and he lit up, which was cool.
That is cool.
I have a picture of it.
Dude. I mean, you can show her if you want.
He was anatomically correct.
Anatomically correct, and when he flicked his light switch, it turned him on. It turned on a light bulb.
And so he stayed with us for a long time. When Dan finally bought a house, the robot came with us.
This conversation's been going on way too long.
Dan, what was his name? Do you remember his name?
Yeah, BoneBot.
And so the Comcast guy comes to install the Comcast in the basement, and I'm the only
He
one
used
home.
to be a youth pastor, dude.
This is my youth pastor.
This
is
was
my
before.
old youth
You asked
pastor.
for stories. And so I'm sitting at home, and this Comcast guy comes down, and the only thing in the basement is this big old TV and BoneBot in the corner. And to the man's credit, he didn't mention it. I didn't mention it. He just installed it and left.
His hands were gigantic Mickey Mouse gloves, too.
That's true. I forgot about that.
I need to see a picture, please.
We'll post a link.
Yeah, I can't find it.
Oh, we'll find the picture and we'll post a link. Be sure to check those show notes, though, guys, if you're listening, because we post a lot of links.
Yeah.
Actually?
So you don't listen to all of them.
I don't read.
She
Sarah,
doesn't, she doesn't check the show notes.
As a special guest, would you be okay reading the ad for the week? Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. This week's ad is brought to us by, or this week's episode, sorry, not ad, is brought to us by water.
Water, it's good. And it helps you live. I don't know. I was put on the spot.
Is there a website?
I think they've sponsored us before.
Yeah.
It's called
Water.
Repeating Read.
.gov.
They like they like the results. Here, why don't you read a special comment from our
Our old
Yeah.
pal.
biggest fan,
Which one?
the top two, T.
Oh.
Rodney's shout out. We missed you.
T. Rodney says, 37 minutes ago, I just listened to the intro, comma.
It was.
I must say, Will, comma. That this is the worst person to talk. You've heard me read in church.
I forgot she doesn't know how to read.
That was some mighty fine string tickling my friend.
Not homeschooled, huh?
And then he goes, good contact, boys, with a Z, comma. Maybe even your best yet, period. AI as a guest speaker next
Yeah,
week?
I like
Question
that.
mark, question
We should
mark.
That's
try
a
that.
really
That'd be
good
pretty
comment.
fun.
Feel like we should have taken him up on that offer.
Wait, well, it's not too late. Sarah knows tech. She can do an AI setup for us.
Actually, we
I have ChatGPT
yeah.
and my phone.
Which
Sarah's
one?
helped me. We made games with ChatGPT
Yes.
a couple of times.
That's incredible. What's our time like?
Oh, we're good.
Well, is this all of it?
No.
Okay, there's another 20 in addition to this, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
So we're at almost an hour.
have you heard of Mel's Hole?
He was asking me that. If it just you guys couldn't see him gesturing to me specifically and asking me about Mel's Hole. No, Stephen, I haven't heard about it. What's up with it?
We don't have to get into it this week if it's.
No, we got time.
We do.
Yeah.
All right.
All
So,
night.
do you know Coast to Coast?
Wait, hold on. What is this in the first place?
We're trying to figure that out, but he's asking me another thing.
Mole hole?
Mitch's. Oh, Mel's.
Hole.
Hole. So, Coast to Coast is like a radio station across the whole nation. It was in the olden days.
It's not
or
like
in the
NPR,
past.
is it?
No. So people would call in and give them like their crazy UFO stories or Bigfoot stories or stuff like that. Like,
Oh, is that
before-
Art Bell's thing?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah.
Art Bell. And so this guy calls in. His name is like Mel Waters or something. I don't know, Mel something. And he lives in somewhere in the Pacific Northwest. And he said he bought this house. And I'm doing a terrible job of it. I had the Wikipedia up, and I don't have it now. So he bought this house, and it's got like 30 acres or something like that. And he's looking on the back acreage portion of it, and there's just this like 9-foot hole. And he threw a rock down it, and you can't see the bottom of it. And he throws a rock down, and he doesn't ever hear it hit. And so he asked his neighbor, like, what's going on with this hole? And the neighbor's like, yeah, dude, everyone knows about the hole. We bring our trash down there and we throw it down this hole. And so the guy was like really into like deep sea fishing and stuff. So he had this, it was like 1,800 yards of line, and he puts a giant weight on and he just drops it, and 1,800 yards all the way down, and it's just dangling. It doesn't hit the bottom of it. So then he goes and orders apparently like, it's like 10 miles of line or something crazy amount, and drops it the whole way, and it still isn't touching the bottom of this hole. Can't figure it out. Has no idea what it's from or where it goes or anything. The story goes on, and there's like another person with it and stuff, but it gets like a little bit more far-fetched where they like put a goat down there and it comes back and it's dead, but it has like tumors, and one of the
I
tumors.
think I just listened
This
to
is
a
a
podcast
show,
about
isn't
this.
it?
It's not a show.
There's a show based on
They
it.
maybe.
But it's about cowboys.
Oh, Outer Range.
Yes.
Yeah, so they were talking about, when I was listening to them presenting this, they were like, that sounds like Outer Range. But this predates Outer Range by probably 15 years or so. It was like 97.
Yeah, and then they
when
like
he calls
lower
in.
like some people in too,
And they go
they're
crazy.
just absolutely screaming like, "Get me out of here!"
I don't know if that was this hole or if it was a different thing. But yeah, I've heard that story as well. So it's just kind of crazy. Couple things with it. No one is able to find... the story gets weirder and weirder, and the government comes in and takes over and stuff like that. And they're like, oh, you can't go down this access road for X, Y, and Z. There's a plane crash or something. And the guy's like, well, I need to go. So he, over like a 3-year span, he calls back Art Bell and gives him updates, and then he gives him another update and stuff. So the story goes weird and stuff. I wish I had a better job of.
Where was that again?
It was in like the Pacific Northwest. The goat thing took place in like Arizona. Like someone else called in and had their own story or well or something, a hole, and they lowered a goat down in that one. It came back covered in boils, and they popped one of the tumors, and it was like pregnant with this like
Yeah, the one that
seal fetus looking thing, and they kicked that down.
It's the Atlantis people.
It's the Atlantis
their
people,
holes.
100%. They're like
The one that I heard,
"Here,
the people were lowered down. They were like screaming, and when they came back, all their hair was completely white.
yeah, this might be the same story because I've heard that as well. But the last time
Are we supposed to think this is a true story?
that's the goal.
It is a true story.
My problem with that is I feel like if you had 10 miles of fishing line, it would snap any rod. Like no one would be able to hold that.
Is there
Right?
even a reel that holds 10 miles of
No,
line?
I have reels that have
What
over a
if you attach
mile,
it
and
to
it's
your
not very
truck?
much. Although I
But that's
only ever
floating on
have
water.
it out in water. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe if you had like a crane system or something, but that, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what kind of reel you got 10 miles on. That's
Yeah.
that's the biggest thing to me. It's like how's he doing that?
yeah. I did see though, like,
I mean, if
they-
there was a science experiment, they probably could have gotten a big reel for it.
so they, yeah,
Custom.
true.
Or rigged up the spool that the 10 miles came on.
There's
with
no
like a
record of Mel Waters living anywhere near that area. He could have changed his name, obviously, is another thing. If you look at that hole, so the Earth's crust is only like 6 miles deep. But anything more than that, like the Russians apparently dug super deep into Antarctica, and after they got like past, I don't know, 40,000 feet or something,
That's so crazy.
there's
It's a weird place to decide to drill.
their drills
Not
and
There's nothing around.
not if you know like the history of conspiracies around Antarctica.
Antarctica's wild, dude.
I
But they
know.
also think
Yeah.
that they're looking for a continent underneath it, if there's land or if it's just ice, and is it actually a continent or just a floating iceberg or whatever.
I thought half of it was land.
So people speculate in recorded history, Antarctica was a fertile area, and so that no one really knows. It could be going through its own ice age right now or something like that. We don't know. But so anyway, they're digging like 40,000 feet deep or whatever, and all their drills and stuff are melting because they're getting so close to magma and everything like that. So the fact that he is just dropping this down this seemingly bottomless pit, you would think that it would just like be melting all of the fishing line or whatever he has. If you look on the exact opposite side of the world of this pole, it's this
The North Pole.
no of Mel's hole, the other side of the world. It's this magma plume, which is like a volcano thing that shoots up in the middle of the ocean and like smokes, and like a volcano essentially in the middle of the ocean. So it's just kind of interesting. Like I wonder if Mel's hole just comes out of that volcano, you know?
Yeah.
But what would happen if you're in the middle of the earth?
You would be dead.
You'd just be crushed?
Have you watched the movie The Core?
Is that the one that's
I may
based
have.
in Monaco?
That
I
was
don't know.
Argentina.
That was the one where they drilled down to the center of the core.
You didn't even get it.
Yeah.
We're talking about
Okay.
Formula One.
It wasn't a part of this recording.
I know,
It
that's why we're
wasn't.
doing a
That's why I was
callback.
recalling, but it didn't work.
It was an Easter egg.
Yeah, well, because it was.
It was so.
Anyways,
Talk about the core, Dan.
I don't remember it. I just remember.
He was asking the question, hoping that one of us did.
Right.
They developed like some kind of submarine kind of thing to go down to the center of the core and study it.
Weren't there like living things down
Because
there?
I think the core was unstable or something, and it was about to blow up the whole Earth. So they had to go down and like set off nukes or something to stop it. I forget.
Dude, that might actually for real be about to happen.
Dude, we don't even know what's down there.
Well, I'm talking about Yellowstone.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
this a real or animated film?
It was real.
Oh.
It was like before your parents were born. It was like 1990. It was great.
I sat front row for that movie, and it was awful. Manassas Regal.
Wait. Seriously, I thought that movie came out in the 90s.
It would have been early 2000s.
Oh, okay. What were you just saying, Dan? Ben?
Something about Monaco.
Lewinsky.
Were you just fishing for that?
Yeah, that's what I wanted him to say.
Trying to get me to say it for like 2 minutes.
Monaco Lewinsky. So
It was
fun.
gold.
That was great. But anyway, I think we've got enough. Is there anything else you want us to know about you?
Nope.
Will you come back and do this again?
Maybe.
Yeah,
That means
that's a
no.
hard no.
That was tough.
That was really brutal.
Her review of the podcast was, it's driving noise.
No, I think she said the word good though. It's good noise.
It's good noise. Yeah, it is.
Is that what? Okay.
She won't come back and do this again.
We've also been talking for 3 hours to get an hour
I know.
of footage.
I would come again if it wasn't like, if it would
This?
record. If
3
it
hours.
would record.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, as it is right now, you have to be at work in like 6 hours.
Shoot.
Yeah, shoot indeed.
For the patients.
Yeah. All right.
Let's
Well,
not shoot the patient.
we don't have the Congo drum thingy.
I have it.
No, we don't.
It's not a conga. It's a
whatever.
djembe.
Sarah, mic it up.
Dan, why don't you speak us out of this one? This gem of a night.
Well, people, I'm glad you sat through this hour-long talk while we tried to recall all of our funny jokes in non-funny ways. But just remember, this week, when you think we're not funny, that we actually are. And recall previous episodes. And even talk for us in your mind of what would be funny. And comment it for us so we can use that joke.
Yeah, I like it.
Until next week, this is Unsought Opinions.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Peace.